was the Conor got kicked out, right, for getting too close to the cage and yelling instructions. He was like, they said he was acting as a fourth cornerman. Do you think that's a real, like, really adding any value, or should be something that people should do? Or don't people yell from the first row all the time?
Yeah, but so I think what happened was he was standing up, right? And generally, when you're sitting in that front row of seats, you aren't allowed to stand because of the people behind you, right? They want to watch, they want to get comfortable. And Conor was right behind the corner. So even John Kavanaugh and the coaches aren't allowed to stand because the commission will tell you to sit back in your seat. Every time I'm cornering the guys, I try to get up. And they're like, sit, because I get excited. Well,
why don't they want you to stand? Just because they think you're like one step closer to jumping in the cage or interfering somehow?
No, I just think they're trying to keep control. You can't have guys jumping up and down in the corner trying to coach. It would just be a mess. So they tell us to sit. So for a guy that's there as a teammate, but more, he's a fan, to be up and down, walking back and forth and cornering the guy talking, the referee decided that it was out of order. And I don't think anyone from the UFC said anything. So it was up to the ref to tell him to sit down.
So
I was like, who's he talking to? And then the broadcast guy said they were telling McGregor to sit down.
What is it? I mean, I don't know if you can even answer this question or even want to answer this question, or if I can even get this question out without losing track of what I was saying. But So Conor, right? So Conor's had this amazing success, and he's got his group of training partners, right? So
yep.
Lobov, Artem, whatever, is one of them, right? And so he, in a way, gets blamed for getting opportunities because he's Conor's training partner. He also is like, but he's seen the success like so close up. How hard is it for the guys in the gym that just aren't going to get there to be working just as hard as the guys that are going to get the championships and the riches and all that? And like, is it a weird dynamic, like when you're training with guys and everyone knows at some point this guy's not going to make a living off this? Is it weird or awkward at all?
So I think there's two trains of thought, right? So one is when you see it up close, right? It becomes reality, because a lot of times, how can you dream something that nobody's ever done? So when Cain Velasquez became the champion of the UFC, me, Luke Rockhold, everybody thought, oh, wow, it can happen. We can do it out of our gym with our team.
Yeah.
So I think that is probably the approach that most people take. It's like, well, wow, it can happen. He's doing exactly what I've done. Why can't I be as successful? And that was the train of thought that we took. Obviously, with Cain, we did start to receive some opportunities, because he brought so many sponsorship opportunities, so much recognition to the gym that it helped all of us. But on the other hand, you can see a guy skyrocket, and if you're working just as hard, if not harder, and you're not having the same amount of success, then it's just something about that guy. Maybe that guy has something that you don't have in terms of appeal to the fans, or also we're just not all built the same. That guy just may have a little bit of something extra that allows him to be Conor McGregor, whereas you just don't have that one thing that would make you a world champ. But you can't blame that guy. And I think the people that do blame that guy, they're cancers, man. They bring the whole team down.
Yeah. So I imagine everyone plays a role. Everyone plays a vital role in the team, even the guys that hit a ceiling. How often are guys aware of their ceiling? Like, say a guy.
Nobody.
Like
nobody ever is.
The guys that aren't going to make it to the UFC, they've been fighting for a long time. They still think they're one fight away or a winning streak away.
Nobody ever knows, man. That's the sad reality of our sport. It never occurs to guys like, this is just probably not going to be anything more than what it is and what it's been for X amount of years. So it's a sad reality for a lot of guys.
I guess it's
when it comes to fighting.
I guess a crazy sport, yeah. Because in a team sport, someone else makes that decision for you. They say, "Hey, you're not playing. Hey, you're not."
Yeah.
This guy's starting ahead of you. But in fighting, you just got to find one guy to fight, and then after that, you got to find another guy to fight. So it is, yeah. Yeah, that would. I guess if it's what you want to be doing, then no matter how far you get, was worth it. It's not like guys are being dragged into the gym and saying, "Hey, you're gonna fucking keep fighting."
So here's the thing, though. Like, even guys that make it to local shows, they go fight in local shows and they fight 10 times and they never quite make it. Hey, you still got to perform, right? You got to perform.
Yeah.
In front of thousands of people.
Still got the
adrenaline. You live the dream that most people could never imagine. So,
yeah,
I think we all have to be satisfied with what our careers are when they're over, because you can't change it, man. And all of our journeys are different. So you take it for what it is. You be happy for what you accomplished, and know that when you walk into that octagon, you did something that 90% of the world would not be willing or able to do. So
probably a little higher than that.
Yeah, you just gotta be confident and comfortable in your accomplishments and achievements.
It's a good answer. I think we probably lost more people than my joke, but
it's the truth, man. I mean, you just got to be happy, because
you can't
change right
compare.
next. So think about it. How many business things have you tried? How many things have you tried to make hit? And how many have actually hit? There are businessmen in this world.
Yeah, most of them fail.
Most of them fail, right? But the one that does well is the one that you're known for. But you can be just as proud of the throne as you were for Zappos, even if the throne wasn't what what Zappos was. So it's like you have to just be happy with all the things that you chose to do.
Yeah, it gets easier as you get older, which is the interesting about fighting, because a lot of the guys are young, and so you don't have the perspective. You're always like, you're not like appreciating what you're doing. You're comparing yourself. You don't get to look back until you get to look back. So I just thought that would be that would be tough. Now Martavis Bryant is an interesting example of like someone who he was the one that he's a wide receiver for the Steelers.
Yep.
And he sent I think he sent a message or an Instagram message or something to one of his teammates. So he'd lost some of his reps or some of his plays to a rookie wide receiver out of USC. Mm-hmm. And so he was like, basically sent a text that was saying to his teammate, saying, "That's bullshit. That guy's not even close to as good as me. Like, you guys can have him. Get me the fuck out of here."
Yes.
But which I'm sure happens a lot in locker rooms, happens all over the place. Probably happens in every athletic thing. Like, I'm better than him. Why is he getting more attention? Why are you favoring him? But it doesn't really happen very often where the whole world knows about it on an NFL team for a guy that's starting on a good team and
But not even just that, though, with all the issues that Martavis has had himself, because he's had issues. So the spotlight is much brighter, not only because he plays for the Steelers, but also because of the issues that he's had over the course of his career.
Yeah.
So my thought is this, right? So you're entitled to saying, look, I believe that I'm better. I should be receiving more playing time. But it's difficult when it becomes public knowledge, right? So they started saying stuff about either him or his agent texting saying that he wanted out. You're entitled to that. But man, they have guys like what's the Adam Schefter and Jay Glazer and all those guys, they get a hold of everything.
Yeah.
And it's when those guys start getting a hold of that stuff and they start reporting it, when it becomes not your issue directly with the organization,